So the way that I group insurance is medical plan is like the goalkeeper. You cannot don't have a goalkeeper, like in order to move forward and attack as a team.
Hello, hi, morning everyone, and welcome to our start of week SOW. And here we are back on Zoom, okay, instead of YouTube, because of all this mini lockdown that is happening in Singapore. All right, so let me just introduce you, who are our friends who are joining us this morning. All right, so starting from the one in red first, I've got Sean. Hello, Sean. You can make Sean, you can unmute and say.
Hello.
Yeah.
How's everyone doing? I hope everyone's working from home will be very fine. Yeah, eat well, rest well.
Yeah, eat well and rest well. Okay, and then I've got Benjamin, the Korean boy.
Good morning. Yeah, thanks for having me on again.
Yeah, and how have you been coping with your little one?
Very good question. So I was just texting in the group, right? Just to let you all know that if you all hear any baby crying or people getting too excited, that's my newborn baby. She came up, I wouldn't say early, but yeah, she was 37 weeks, 5 days old. So yeah.
Okay, and then
good baby girl.
Yeah, and welcome to the Daddy's Club. So we have got 4 fathers here. Okay, and then the last father, to introduce you is our man in white. Okay, hello, Zhong Jie, Zhong. Hello, Zhong.
Hello, morning everyone. Yep, this is the Daddy's Club today. It happened to be like this, and yes, all our children are of different ages, so this is something that we have a diverse range.
That's true. Okay, mine is 11. And then Zhong Jie's one, eh?
Mine, the elder one be 3.5, the younger one is 1. How about Sean?
Sean?
Mine, the eldest one is 12 and the young one is 9.
Wow.
I've only got 1 and she is 2 weeks old.
More to come.
Okay,
no, just one.
So basically the reason why I asked and we swing into this, right, is because it is relevant to the topic for the day. All right, and the topic for the day, right, is on medical plan. Like recently, right, on the Straits Times and on the articles, right, they've been talking about, I think like yesterday, Business Times, they've been talking about personal accident plan. Last week, they were talking about medical plan, and then they were talking about term insurance and etc. And I thought it is something that is meaningful that we talk about it, especially during this period of lockdown when every one of us is at home. And then the most pertaining thing to wonder about is, let's not talk about savings plan. Let's not talk about investment first. Have I been adequately covered for my medical plan? All right, so maybe let me just throw it over, to our friends this morning. Yeah. So, so what are your thoughts? Medical plan. When you have your firstborn, right? Is it important to you?
Since I'm the youngest father, right? I think I'll go first. So 2 weeks is for our audiences. If you do not know, 2 weeks is the earliest you can get a medical plan for your baby. And of course, I've applied for mine. I always say, like for me personally, this is how I group insurance. Like I really like to watch soccer. So the way that I group insurance is medical plan is like the goalkeeper. You cannot don't have a goalkeeper, like in order to move forward and attack as a team. So you need to have the defense first, and that's for me, medical plan as a goalkeeper.
Okay, yeah, that's nice. How about the rest? Just feel free to come in. Yeah.
Actually, for Singaporean, we are quite lucky because actually our MediShield Life, right, actually cover us for B2 and actually C2 wards at public hospital. So when we are a PR or Singaporean, we are already covered. But now is that, of course, we want more. Yeah, we want the best for our children, so we will cover them with higher integrated shield plan. Yeah, that's what we will do. Yeah.
Zhong Jie, how about you? What are your thoughts?
Yes, this is as what Sean has said. We are very fortunate because back in 2015, when MediShield converted to MediShield Life, every citizen or PR, as long as once is born, you actually have this very basic medical coverage. So of course, personally, I also will feel, especially when baby is young. So from 14 or 15 days onwards, you can actually enhance it, the coverage, to have a integrated coverage whereby in the event of any emergency, it's very important. And this brings about a point that in terms of the coveraging of the benefits, which congenital abnormalities or certain things pertaining only to baby is really very important. So yes, this is the one of the thing that, yeah, as long as the baby is born as soon as possible, should get started for certain coverages, especially medical.
Understand. Yeah, no, thanks guys, for all your views and sharing. Yeah, like I've always got these questions from some of our participants that have messaged us, that is, so if they don't have a medical plan, should they start with because like what Sean has mentioned, right? Every one of us has a government medical plan, that the government has given us or has put in place for all Singaporeans and PR. So if I want to upgrade, right, should I straight away go to the private one, the private ward, or should I just go for the maximum in the government restructured hospital? What are your views on this, or any thoughts?
Yeah, I think that it all comes down to whether you can afford it or not. Okay, let's say I recently actually met a client, but she don't have any MediSave. Yeah.
She don't have MediSave.
She don't have MediSave. Yeah, she's actually working as a freelance, so she don't contribute to CPF. Yeah, so she has a bit of a MediSave, which is very, very little. And we know that actually we are being paid 4% of interest for our MediSave account.
Yes.
Yeah. So right. If you have a minimum of $20,000 in your MediSave account, actually you'll get an $800 interest every year. So actually for integrated shield plan, you can use up to $600 per year limit for your MediSave upgrade. Yeah. For your MediShield upgrade. So actually that is a point where we can actually tell our client that if you want to upgrade, take a look at your MediSave first. Yeah, from there we will decide and further explore whether we want to go into rider or not. So it's all depend on your affordability.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, thanks, Sean. How about anyone, Zhong Jie or Benjamin?
I'll jump on. I think I totally agree with Sean. Affordability is definitely very important. That's one. Second, I think in terms of also next thing is, other than affordability, in terms of the benefits, what are the options or choices do you prefer to have? Example, actually, I do meet with quite a number of people from the Pioneer generation, Merdeka generation as well. So for them, actually, because of the subsidy that's given to them with MediShield Life, in the event if there's anything happen to them, if they just stay within C or B2 wards in restructured hospital, a lot of their bill is covered by using MediSave or through the subsidies as well. So this is something that, because of that, and also the premium is actually higher for them to do integrated shield plan. So these are the people who also feel that probably is not so much need. However, alternatively, example for as young as baby, I think because there's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of things that's unpredicted. So I think it's most importantly, especially for baby when they are the first few years, is really very important to have the option that in the event there's anything, you do have this option to seek medical professionals or even second opinion.
Okay. How about Benjamin?
Yeah. So adding on to what Zhong Jie just said, this reminded me of a client who recently, unfortunately, a young baby, 2-month-old, actually had to go to hospital because he had fever. So what happened was, obviously, if they didn't get private insurance, what they had to do was to go to the polyclinics. They probably had to wait maybe an hour or so. But because they had that foresight to want to upgrade their shield plan to get private, they could just walk into a A&E at a private hospital, and the waiting time was a lot quicker. So they were grateful for this particular point. So like what Zhong Jie just mentioned, I think particularly for babies, we really dote on them. Like I know my newborn, right? She's just our little princess. Right? So everything the best we can do, we will give it to her.
She's the princess of the whole family now.
Yeah, really, honestly, like everybody who comes here, even though it's our friends, she's also treated like a princess. So it's something to really consider, especially since like what Sean mentioned also, affordability. At their age, it's really affordable with all the government grants and everything.
Yeah. I
Actually, I want to add on.
yes, Sean, done.
Yes, our government is very good citizen. Yeah, but there is a limit of what you can use for your MediShield Life. If I'm not wrong, it's 100,000 maximum limit. So it's actually considered very little for healthcare in Singapore. So if really you can afford it, I would recommend that everyone should upgrade. Yeah, at least to cover a meal to 2 meal.
Yeah.
I totally agree with what Sean said. Because for myself, like 2 years ago, I went to do a keyhole surgery on my nose at a deviated septum. My hospital bill was 30,000 and it was only 3 days. So yeah, hospital bills can be quite astonishing.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I think the two of you have given a really good experience, of your own view. I think you mentioned about, affordability is something to consider, the benefit as well as in the event of an emergency, right? How fast, you want to receive treatment. I think all these are consideration when selecting a medical plan. And then my second question is that, how about, let's say, let's say for a healthy adult, who already has a medical plan, and then there will be financial consultants, there'll be agents who recommend them to do a switch. What are your thoughts?
So I'll take this first, because it's so coincidental that you just mentioned it. I was just speaking to a client yesterday, right? She was telling me she's on Aviva plan right now. So she was telling me, I've got an agent who called me, told me because Aviva's premiums are not as competitive as the rest. But that's why they say, maybe it's time you do a switch. So of course there's consideration, right? Yes, she's healthy, but we never know whether there's any pre-existing conditions that she needs to have cover for. And sometimes at the end of the day, it just so happens like maybe you go in and then there is not really a waiting period per se, but more so like a period of time that if you are currently an insurer, my take would be look at the overall picture. Why are you switching?
Nice.
Of course, if it's to do with premiums, is it something that we can consider? Because the fact is, if you switch to another insurer, underwriting is a factor. So to me personally, that was the advice I gave my client. Obviously, because we are with we're not tied agency, I'm able to give her the comparison in terms of prices because that's her concern. So we looked at the prices and then from there we will decide whether it's feasible to do a switch or not.
Yeah. I think that is very true. I think Benjamin basically knew it, like what you mentioned. It is not just looking at it from a premium point of view. It is looking at it from a more holistic and comprehensive point of view. Not just looking at premium in silo. Because if you're looking at premium in silo, right, we'll just do it like how we buy our motor insurance, like just go for the cheapest. But it's not the case, especially when it comes to our medical health. And maybe let me just pose a question to Zhongjie or Sean. How about let's say let's say like for myself, I already have a existing condition. I'm with an insurer. Should I switch for a cheaper premium or not?
If a person that already has a existing medical condition, switching definitely is a disadvantage. So most importantly, as what just now Sean mentioned, in terms of the affordability, I think we have to weigh between the cost and the benefit. So if you switch to an insurer, there's a high chance that there will be exclusion to whatever pre-existing condition that you have, so which is at a disadvantage. Secondly, within the company, is there any other options available? Example, let's say if I have a full coverage with like say up to private hospital, is there any other option A, B, or C to move a step down or actually to another within the same insurance company, whereby your whatever benefits you still have, you'll still be able to have it, but yet you could be able to make some adjustment to the cost that you may feel that it is something that is affecting you. So I think this is really very important. So definitely, usually it's not advisable for anybody with pre-existing medical condition to switch. However, there are cases that, example, your pre-existing medical condition, you do is able to do a preliminary underwriting, meaning that it's not official application yet, but do check it out with other insurance company and see what is their review and what is their reply from that to know if there's no exclusion and everything will be all well, then thereafter this is something that can consider as well. So this is something It's not done so easily, but then again, have to be careful on this area.
Okay, nice. Yeah, and before I let every one of you go, right, let me just post the last question to Sean or anyone, feel free to answer that as well. Yeah, and I posted to Sean because Sean has been working in corporate for almost all his life, until recently, that he changed and then moved on to be a financial consultant. So, Sean, so from as a corporate, or do you think the company's medical insurance it's enough? It's enough for you, like if I have a company insurance, forget about the private medical insurance. I don't need to spend on my MediSave, don't need. I use the company one will do. Anyway, company take care of me.
No, definitely, I would say that it's not enough. You see, company will only cover you for the basic part of it. So, of course, if anything happened to us, we definitely will claim the company first. That is a must, right? Because it won't affect you. So, but on top of that, you have to have enough coverage for yourself to claim the rest. Yeah.
Okay, great.
I think one more thing to add on, right, is also the fact that you may not be with the company forever. So what if you switch to another company, right? Then that company's maybe coverage not as good as your current company. Or if you decide to, okay, I don't want to do corporate anymore, I'll be like Sean, I come into do self-employed. So that's another thing to consider as well.
That's true. Yeah, Zhongjie, yeah.
I'll top it up another one. I do had a story that I know of because of this person. The company coverage is not too bad, but then again, she felt that because I have company insurance, everything is well covered. So everything is within the company insurance. And when things happen, first year, the payout is sufficient for her. However, because it's a group insurance, second year onwards, the coverage is capped. Then thereafter, a lot of her medical bills, she has to fork it out on her own. So this is something that to know that group insurance, especially medical for hospitalization by the company, is a group coverage and is yearly renewable. So it's something that, let's say there's a claims payout on year 1, year 2, or subsequent year, there may be exclusion on the things that has been paid out, or it's highly likely that may not be able to cover you anymore. So this is something that will be worrying because first and foremost, as Benjamin has so mentioned, you won't be with the company forever. And so most importantly, you do need to have a backup plan. Just like, example, those who drive car, do you have a backup spare tire at your boot?
Yeah, usually have. If not, at least you have the gear. Yeah, and thank you so much. Thanks, guys. I think what you have shared is really useful and it really touches my heart because I can remember, last time when I was a regular, right? I always think that the government is going to take care of my life plan, especially when I have the group term insurance with Aviva, and the government is definitely going to take care of my medical plan. And I've never imagined or thought that one day I'm going to leave the Air Force, but indeed when I left, right, I basically has got nothing, no plan. And I can recall my first plan was actually taken up when I was 28 years old, 1 year, right? Just 1 year right after I left the Air Force. Yeah, and I think what you have shared is really important, right? Thank you guys. Thanks for sharing with us your view. It does really comes in different perspectives. Sean, you have something that you want to add?
Yes. I suddenly thought of something that I would have to remind everyone. Okay, since everyone is covered with medical insurance, and with IP plans, so please remember to pay your premium because recently I have a friend that forget to pay his premium and it's lapsed and he didn't know about it. Yeah. So when he write in to reinstate his medical insurance, a lot of his medical underwriting is all being excluded. Yeah. So please be very mindful. Remember to pay your premium.
Yeah. Well, I think this is a good sharing because I think something similar also happened to me last year. Totally forgotten, and then 1 month later, I got to write in to the insurance company to do a reinstatement, to bring up the plan again, and then they sent me a list of questionnaire, for the family just to ask me all these questions, and then it was really concerned, Yeah, I think. Yeah, you have shared. It was really important and useful tips for all of us. And then to end off, right? Any last notes, any last words from my three friends, right? for our listener this morning? All right, just to close off today's discussion. All right, any last notes from Benjamin, maybe? First?
Sure. So I would deviate a little bit from integrated shield plan because I think we have already educated our audience in a way that it's important. So get someone that you trust, look through it together. Or obviously, if you don't have somebody, you can always reach out to us. We are happy to help. But one thing, of course, is to listen to the government. Stay home, stay safe. Yeah. Then let's just get through this together.
Thanks, Benjamin. Sean?
Yeah, always listen to your financial advisor. Yeah, they will always give you the best recommendation.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, Sean. Okay, I'll listen to your financial advisor. And then from Benjamin, it is about looking at it from a very comprehensive point of view. Yeah. And lastly, Zhong Jie.
Yes, I would think correct. We have to observe whatever rules that's been set out to us and stay safe and drink lots of water. Of course, I would highly suggest that because of like a lot of people will be working from home, taking certain breaks in between is important. And of course, probably you can just go out, of course, with your mask on for like probably like 10 or 15 minutes walk a day outdoor to have some fresh air, to really remain some sanity. I think this is really important, which 24 hours a day within the four walls in a house or within a fixed environment is not something that a lot of people be able to enjoy it for a prolonged period of time. So do at least take some breaks or even like probably 10 to 15 minutes outdoor every day.
Yes, that's right. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, the three of you, for your morning sharing. Yeah, I think it is important to stay really positive during this period. So that you are, like what Zhong Jie mentioned, you are sane. You're not insane. When you go out and keep asking people to see their badge. All right. So if this is your first time joining us at the start of week, this is our start of week where we call it the SOW. It is on podcast. It is on YouTube. We're going to post this on YouTube, and it is done every Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. So do join us where we provide you with the latest money news as well as money tips so that we can help you better manage your money and grow your wealth. All right. Thank you all and have a great week ahead. Thank you. God bless everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.